Hi, Mike. My name is Daryl. I'm with First Fruits Lawn Care. I'm a solo operator, and my business is in Riverside, California. We did about 100,000 this year, hoping to do about 200 to 250,000 next year, and get a couple employees. In my market, landscaping is fairly cheap. Most providers are only charging about 90 to 100 bucks for a month of weekly service, and most of the clients or potential customers have had their landscapers for decades. So to pierce this market, I found it pretty tough, and to get route density. One of my marketing strategies for 2026, I was hoping to do door hangers on the homes in the surrounding areas that I'm working, in the neighborhood that I'm working, but also offer a no brainer deal, which would be one free month of service if you choose to put your card on file. So for potential clients that would like to take advantage of one free month of service, their first month free, if they put their card on file, that's an offer I'm willing to provide only for the month of March, the beginning of the growing season, and something that would expire April 1st. Let me know how this sounds. If there's any holes in my idea, I'd love to hear what you think, Mike. Thank you.
So my only concern here is that you are giving this offer for free services during your busiest time of the year, March. Um, I do not want to be doing free work and losing money on jobs when I have a whole bunch of leads pouring in. So assuming you're not demand constrained, like assuming that during the spring rush you have leads pouring in, I would not do this. If you're like, hey, even during the spring rush, I just do not have enough leads coming in, then maybe you do this. And this is an entry offer to get them in the door. What I would also say is I would really try to reconfigure the way you do your upsells. So it's like, hey, your first month is free. And then I would really try to get them on like a property cleanup or something that's going to initially get you $300-400 to be able to cover their acquisition and make sure you don't lose your shirt in that first month. But I'm very cautious of doing freebies during the spring rush when if you have a whole bunch of leads already showing up at your doorstep. If you don't have that, I think that we need to address that in the form of a better website, better branding, etc. I think that's a different problem altogether if you're not getting leads during the busy season already. So I'd be cautious with that. I would reconfigure your offer to try to get more money up front and not just be immediately giving away a free month. Why? Because let's just say you have a cost per lead of $50 and you close one out of two, it's a $100 customer acquisition cost. Let's assume that you also have to spend, let's call it $20 to $40 in admin or sales cost to close the deal. Now we're looking at, let's call it $120 of your actual cost to get the customer. Now you're gonna do 3 or 4 free services. Let's assume that you're running a 50% gross profit and you're running at $300. So $150 of actual cost you're gonna be putting in to supply that first free month. You're $150 plus $120, you're $270 deep into this customer. Now, if we're charging $300 per month, it's going to take, assuming you're like a 20, 25, 30% profit margin business, it's going to take you several months to get break even on this customer. I'm not a huge fan of taking 6 to 12 months to break even on a customer. So I would only allow this offer if you're also going to upsell them and have a relatively high rate of acceptance for another service that you can get immediately $300 to $400 to recoup that cost of the $270. Because that's really the cost of getting the customer. You have customer acquisition cost, you have cost to actually fulfill on the estimates and get the estimates out, whether it be admin or sales time. And then you also have the cost of delivering free services. So I'd be trying to upfront that as much as possible. Perhaps if they pay for the whole year upfront, I give them the first free month. That's probably not gonna have a great hit rate. I'll also be very careful of someone that's like, put a card on file, great, get a free month of service, and then they bail. So you got to be careful of that too. Now you're $270 deep. If 1 out of 3 or 4 people do that, now that $270 just became $400 because people are misusing the program. So be very careful with that kind of offer. It's certainly a grand slam, great offer, let's go for the customer, but you got to make sure it's positioned correctly to where you actually retain all of them. And ideally, you recoup more dollars and cents up front instead of going out. Like there's a cash flow problem if you don't collect at least $300 to $400 up front.